Just recording a podcast with my buddy.
Right. That's not what I meant to click on.
Yeah, it is. It's what you meant to click on. Don't lie.
Fine. I lied. That is what I meant to click on.
Fucking knew it. Saw in your eyeballs.
Sorry, I'm such a liar.
Your eyeballs went right to it, and you're like, I don't mean to click on this.
This click.
He, 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 he.
He says. What you been up to this week?
Working
Yeah, right.
and working.
Working. Yeah, they allowed us to do overtime this week.
Oh, shit.
So we were allowed to get 5 hours of overtime. I think I got 5.5. I know, right? Scandalous. So yeah, I've been doing an extra hour every day. Not fun, but extra money is extra money now.
That's true.
Yeah. Considering most of it's probably going to go to helping to pay off the electric bill. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
That thing went from $200 and something, I think my brother said last month, to $400 this month.
Because hell has descended upon Arizona.
Yep. We were looking at, I was looking up yesterday as well, like, when did it start to cool off last year? And it wasn't until late August, or late October, excuse me.
Yeah. Because it was
when it really started to cool off, and it was just like, good God. I hate this state.
Yep.
I mean, I like this state, but I also hate this state.
Yeah, there's too many months where it's just not pleasant to be here.
Yeah. And I remember it didn't used to be like this.
Oh, man, because global warming's not real.
Yeah, right? So Adam and I were joking, it'd be funny if we moved to Colorado before you guys.
Dick.
I know, right?
Dick.
And we'd live in Castle Rock because it's Castle Rock.
I hate you so much.
I mean, if you could live in a place that has a name of a Stephen King book, well, but
Place.
story place, yeah, you totally live in that place.
'Cause I'm not living in Shawshank,
Derry.
that's for sure.
No,
Or Derry.
not living in Derry.
Fuck that shit.
Well, I know you don't like clowns in general.
Yeah, but Derry just has a bunch of terrible shit that happens in it.
Yeah,
I mean, Castle Rock County does also, because guess where fucking Derry is?
yeah,
Castle Rock County.
yeah.
Not cool, bro. Not
Just saying.
cool, bro.
It's not going to happen.
Good.
For something like that, I'd have to find a job that first
It's true.
there, or find a remote job that you can just do from anywhere.
That would be the dream right there.
Right? That would be the dream. Anyway, what do you got for today?
I mean, Comic-Con's happening. So
Oh, that's right. Comic-Con is happening. The news that you broke yesterday is quite divisive, I would say.
Yeah, it's the thing is, and I was thinking about this yesterday when you guys were talking about it, and like it was making me mad. Because
Which part was making you mad? The fact we were talking about it, or the fact that what we were saying?
It wasn't I was mad at you guys. I was mad. Well, I mean, not at you directly. I was mad at what you were saying because you were correct. Mike was very correct about saying about fans not understanding. It's because like the casual MCU fan, the casual movie person, is not going to understand that there's been multiple times where a version of Tony Stark has been Doctor Doom. So for the folks who are listening, this guy doesn't make any sense. So folks listening, yesterday, Saturday, July 27th of 2024, it was announced in Hall H of Comic-Con in San Diego that Robert Downey Jr. would be returning to the MCU to portray Doctor Doom in potentially 2 movies. He could be in the Fantastic Four movie. We don't know yet. but I don't think he's going to be because I think the Fantastic Four movie is set in a different world by the aesthetics that they were showing. But anyways, so a lot of people on the internet as well as my group of friends, were discussing the exact same thing. How it's going to be confusing for most people, and they're not going to understand it, and why are they doing this, and blah blah blah. One is it had to be a pivot point because they had to kind of distance themselves from Kang, because Kang unfortunately had an actor who had some legal problems that they had to distance themselves from. And instead of just changing out who's playing Kang, they pivoted in a different way that I don't think was a full change. Like, I don't think it was like a, hey, this is like a full-on, we need to make an adjustment right away. I think this was, hey, we might have already had this planned. Maybe not with Robert, but we would have had Doom planned already, because why wouldn't we? Because
you're already doing Fantastic Four.
You're doing Fantastic Four. He's obviously a major player in that. You're doing Secret Wars, and the most recent Secret Wars, which is what everything's based on, is current, more recent stuff, focuses around Doom. So that makes more sense for Doom to be a villain, or like a major point of that. So I don't think Doom was out of the question. Was it with Downey from the beginning? I don't know. We may never know. But the point is, like, they needed to make a new main villain for those movies, and obviously one had a drastic name change, because we had Avengers Kang Dynasty that was originally announced a couple of years back, and because of the things I was talking about before, they now have it called Doomsday, which I want to say is a name of a story arc that Tony was Doctor Doom in. Or I might be mistaken. That might be Doom Rising.
I think that's Doom Rising. I ran across someone talking about it, and I think I recall Doom Rising.
Okay. So it might be,
because it was something about the armor or something, blah blah blah.
Yeah, so I could be wrong, but there's a book or story arc by Robert Kirkman, of all people. Yes, that Robert Kirkman from Walking Dead and Invincible fame, amongst Battle Pope and Ant-Man, and so on and so forth. Marvel's Zombies. Anyways, he wrote a story arc during a Fantastic Four run. I don't remember when it was, where a version of Tony Stark's Doctor Doom got pulled into Earth 616, and in his timeline, he has a massive hatred for Reed Richards. And I can't. He was like Earth 5102 or 5201 or some random one, and we don't know a whole lot about it other than the fact that his planet was overrun by some insectual alien race thing or something, and it had to do with Reed doing some kind of experiment or something, or I can't remember what it was. It's been a long time, and I have to look it up. But in that, the reason he wears the mask as much as he does, not because he's trying to hide his appearance or his identity, he's trying to hide his appearance because he is actually horrifically burned, and I believe the top half of his face is burnt. But he reutilizes the suit. Majority of his body might be burnt. I can't remember. I think because he utilizes the suit to keep himself alive. But he reveals himself as Tony Stark, and in the 616 at that point, Tony was dead. I think. I can't remember. It's like I said, it's been a long, long time, and I actually could be wrong about the origin of that one, but I know it was Kirkman, because Bendis did a run of Iron Man where he made Tony Doom, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's Doom Rising. I want to say that was Doomsday, but I think it's Doom Rising. But Doctor Doom has not always been Victor Von Doom. Many times it's been other people. And I wish I knew where and when they were, but it's been a long time since I've had to delve into that. But I mean, Doctor Boom's been even in the most recent incarnation of him. At one point, he's been Reed Richards. He later took the moniker the Father, I think, though. Yeah, it's from the Ultimates, the first set of Ultimates, not this new one. But yeah, so when you guys were talking about it yesterday on the chat, I was getting mad because you were correct, and the fact that Marvel is, for some reason, Marvel's leaning more towards, they're trying to pull more stuff from the comics and like bring it across, because obviously they did that with obviously the other ones, and Secret Wars is obviously a big thing, and I saw a video someone today posted, that now that Robert Downey is gonna be Doom, there's a in the miniseries that led up to, or that was the newest version of Secret Wars, Doom had become essentially a god, and there's a scene where Thanos shows up and he's trying to stop the incursion, as I believe they called it, which is what Doom was doing with all the Earths. He was basically pulling them all into one, and he's gonna make one prime Earth. Whoops, I can't say that. That's a DC thing. And he won one. I can't remember what he called it. It might have been Alpha, or Omega. I can't remember which one it was. But there's a scene where Thanos gets pulled in, and he's like, I'm Thanos. Something about the lines of like, I'm Thanos. You're just a phony god. And then Doom goes, oh really, and punches into his body, and rips his skeleton out of his body. And says, yeah, perhaps you might have been incorrect. And someone's like, we need this. I'm like, they're not gonna have Doom rip the fuck. I don't think they're gonna pull Thanos back for like a major thing. They may bring him back because obviously multiple variants of different characters have already been pulled in and out of these movies. But I mean, it would be a pretty cool thing, but I doubt it's gonna happen. But it was an interesting thing because at that point, like, Doom was like the height of his like god powers at that point, and like he's like, Thanos is like obviously like one of the most indestructible human or beings in the universe, and he just with one fell swoop rips his skeletal system out of his body. Which, I mean, obviously you can't really survive so long without a skeleton holding all your vital bits in place. But yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of that. But yeah, it was just like I'm reading this, I'm like, I hate the fact that like Mike is such the average person when it comes to these sort of things. Like, he knows a little bit of the comic books, but he knows a little bit of the movies. So when it comes to this point, he's always the one that fucking is like, oh, I'm a normal human being, and this is how I don't understand it. So I know the mass people are gonna be even more. He's got his thumb like right on the jugular of like the average fucking human being, who's not like a nerd of either side. And I'm like, it didn't even, like, my brain didn't even jump to that. My brain automatically jumped to all the fucking, like, incredible one-liners that Downey's going to have as Doom when it comes to other characters in the MCU. Like, when he comes face-to-face with Falcon's Captain America, I cannot wait for what comes out of his mouth. Like, it just, oh my god, dude. Because, like, at that point, his Doom or his Tony Stark isn't that Tony Stark. You know what I mean? Obviously, Tony Stark wasn't alive in the 616 to even know that. I was gonna say Anthony Mackie, that Sam Wilson took over the mantle of Captain America because he was dead at that point. Because Sam was still Falcon at his funeral, and Tony obviously was dead, so it wouldn't matter if he was any Captain America at his funeral. Yeah, but I was like, I'm just thinking, and then that's where my brain went, is like all the geeky stuff that's happen, and of course Mike brings up the fact that, like, you know, the mass amount of people are going to be like, I'm confused why Tony Stark is Doctor Doom.
Well, I'm going to be interested to see if they even actually introduce him as Tony Stark, because things that I've been seeing on the internet is that he is actually Victor Von Doom.
I mean, he could be
Tony Stark.
I mean, he could be. I mean, because at one point, the variant that is Tony Stark, in that, in his timeline of being a human being, he might not be a Stark. His family line could have ventured into the Von Dooms.
Right.
And so he looks like Tony Stark. That's because his ancestry follows the line of Starks, but at one point deviated with the last name for whatever reason, right? Like it could have been on his planet or his Earth or timeline or whatever you want to say, a Stark and a Von Doom met, but instead of being Stark being male, Stark was female. You know what I mean? And so when that coupling happens, and a marriage would have happened, and the last name would have continued, would have been Von Doom.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be, to me, a lot better way of doing it than making it Tony Stark, because they didn't say during the press conference that he was coming, like Tony Stark was coming back. They said Robert Downey Jr. is coming back.
It's coming back.
So that makes a lot more sense, or a lot of sense to me too. Also, the fact that Robert Downey Jr. is like one of the best actors.
He's a great actor. I think he's going to knock it out of the park. I think he's going to do a great job. I just wonder why. Like, obviously, they have something in mind. They have to have something in mind.
Oh, yeah.
With hiring Robert Downey Jr. in order to bring him back for this. So, I will always, like I've said, hope for the best and wait and see what they do with the things. But if they just play it as straight Victor Von Doom and make no reference to the fact that he even is Tony Stark lookalike, then why even hire Robert Downey Jr. to play the role? Why not just somebody else that is literally could just play Von Doom? That's my question behind this. They obviously have to have some sort of the plan for it. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to make him burned full body and then just keep him in a suit the whole entire time, and then just say, no, this is Victor Von Doom, and not even reference the fact that he looks like Tony Stark anywhere else.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to do some narrative lifting on this character in order to explain why he looks like the Tony Stark that we know of. And if they don't, then that's a huge cop-out in my opinion.
Yeah, it would be a very weird thing, like you said, like to have someone of Robert Downey's stature come in to play this character and not somehow tied into Tony Stark in some way or form.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's the same thing because, like, in, I think in the 616, but I could be wrong. So the 616, the main Avengers timeline, the iteration that is Kang the Conqueror later on is a descendant of Tony Stark. Down the line, but many years in the future. Not like it's not his
Which
fucking
is another thing,
whatever.
Like, that doesn't slightly make sense to me either. Is like if you're willing to bring back Tony Stark or willing to bring back Robert Downey Jr. in order to play Victor Von Doom, you're obviously, and you've already replaced characters here and there, so it wouldn't be unheard of that if Jonathan Majors had some issues and you want to distance yourself away from that. We already know that there are an infinite number of different Kang the Conquerors. They don't all have to look like each other. They could have just brought in another actor.
Yeah.
Why not?
And that's why I think
it and just been like, no, this is actually the one that whatever the storyline they had for him going forward, they could have just continued that with a different actor. Like I don't understand the pivot then in a completely different direction.
And that's why I don't think it was a full pivot. I think it was just an opportunity because they probably already had Doom lined up to be used. And was it Downey? I don't know. It depends. It might have been, and that might have been like more of a surprise. And now they're like, well, we've decided to go another way with this and get away from Kang Dynasty and go with Doomsday because of obviously the issues they had with Jonathan. Well, not they had with Jonathan, but the issues Jonathan was having. We may never know, because like down the line we may find out what what happens or what happened to lead to this. But we also could find out that this version of Doom is essentially a Kang variant as well, since he is technically down the line a relative of Tony Stark. So I mean, it's all up in the air at this point. Like the big thing we have to that I will be interested to see is how and when they establish I want to say his name is God Emperor Doom or Doom Emperor God.
Okay.
I don't remember how they name him, but he takes that moniker because he gets, well, God powers. But it'll be interesting to see how if that's the way they go with the Secret Wars. But I mean obviously we have to wait because they're not going to give us answers until then. I mean, honestly, they may sprinkle it in, but we don't know.
From what you described in that storyline, it sounds really cool. And it sounds like a great opportunity because you're already building up the multiverse right now.
Yeah.
It sounds like a great opportunity to say, hey, we now own the X-Men, or pretty much all of the X-Men. I don't remember if they own every character now.
The X-Men they do, yes. Spider-Man's the one they don't own everything for.
So it literally could be the point where they do finally merge all of everything together. You could have, you have the Deadpool movie, Deadpool Wolverine movie. You could have the different X-Men movies suddenly come out, Fantastic Four. They don't have to take place in the same universe as what we've already got. But then this is what combines everything together, and we finally get a X-Men and Avengers universe.
Yeah, and so I know I've been trying to stay away from spoilers for Deadpool and Wolverine as much as possible.
Oh my god, right? Like I really want to watch the hot ones with Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, but I fear so much that a question will come up about the movie. And
so I did watch it, and the reason I watched it is because I had the same fear. But Sean doesn't often bring in that kind of stuff. It's more of like their past. But
which is fine. I'm afraid of the actors themselves.
Yeah, no. So I believe it was Sean that posted it, or it was First We Feast. I can't remember. They brought it up, and it's a spoiler-free episode.
Okay. So I could have watched it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. You should watch it because it's amazing. It's Ryan is hamming it up, obviously, but Hugh loses his fucking shit when it comes to the spice. Like he reverts into a child.
Oh my god.
It's fucking hilarious. He just cannot handle it. But he never gives up. He goes all the way through. But Good. It's like, and this isn't like a chopped up. They do all 10 sauces.
Nice.
So it wasn't one of those ones where they did like half and half. Like they did 50 or 5 wings or whatever. They did a full on thing, and it was fantastic. And it's so great. But yeah, so don't be worried about that one. But there's a lot of ones leading up to it. I've only watched a few, because I am worried that I already got some shit spoiled for me because the internet is the internet.
I mean, I've managed to stay away from everything. Even oddly enough, even headlines that I've read on Apple News haven't been spoilery.
Yeah,
there have been some things that are like, hey, all the there are a bunch of cameos, and it's like, okay, you didn't mention anybody in it. That's great. Thank you. I'm not reading that article because I want to watch the movie first and see the cameos first.
Yeah. So I already had a couple cameos spoiled because people posted pictures. And I was like, okay, I hate you. So I blocked those people. Because they're not even people I follow. Like on like Twitter and shit. Like people just, because Twitter is a cesspool of fucking nonsense. People just like, oh, look at this. I'm like, blocked? Why?
You just don't need to be on social media. Yeah, no one needs to be on social media.
How do I live my life, Joe?
I don't know. I mean, I don't do social media. I mean, I guess I do Reddit, but I don't consider it that.
Reddit's not a social media. Reddit is its own fucking beast. It's in its own category of stuff.
Yeah. So that's all I'm saying. Just get off social media. No one in the world needs social media.
And I've only seen cell phone footage of. Not talking about the spoilers anymore. This is less of a spoiler and more of just like inside knowledge. And it's not spoilery when it being inside knowledge. But they showed footage of Fantastic Four that's already been filming in London at the Pinewood Studios, I believe they said. Famous for many things, including Star Wars and other Marvel projects. And I think the birth of The Mandalorian, right? Or was that in California? Doesn't matter. Anyways, so they showed footage because they kind of like cut together some stuff that they already had filmed. And what's weird is, and what makes me think Secret Wars is doing exactly what I was saying, is where like basically pulling in the multiverse to bring in all these different universes that have Fantastic Four, X-Men, and all these different ones into the main MCU. So into the 616 is what they did in the comic books and probably do in the movies. And the reason I say this is because the footage they showed, the world that Fantastic Four happens in doesn't look and feel like anything we've seen already.
Yeah.
They have capsule homes that are like Jetson style. They have flying vehicles, which, by the way, if you haven't seen the footage yet, they actually had the Fantastic Four car, the Fantastic car, flying around Hall H.
No, I did not see that. No.
And I don't know how they did it because I can't see it. I can't see a crane, but it flew over the stage with people on the stage. By the way, the cast of Fantastic Four standing on stage in Hall H with Kevin Feige. And the fucking Fantastic car flies over the top of them.
I'll have to find that.
I'll send it to you and I'll post it to you on the website so people can see it. But I was like, but there's cell phone footage of people, because why wouldn't there be, of them recording the footage they showed in Hall H, which back in the day was like you'd get fucking like murdered and your family would get fucking taxed. But whatever. But they know that, so they're not going to be showing anything that can't be shown to everybody eventually, because eventually that footage will be brought out to the light of day. But yeah, so they showed it, and the part of the footage I saw was
that's cool.
What's up? Oh, did you find
there
it?
It is. I found it.
Yeah, was Reed being professor and all, teaching kids or students whatever big ass math equation, whatever, right? But it was on a chalkboard, which I know shouldn't be like, oh my god, they're using chalkboards, like. But like most colleges, like modern colleges, aren't using chalkboards anymore.
No.
You know, dry erase projectors, computer screens,
stuff,
you know, that kind of stuff. I mean, you went to fucking college in the 20th century. So like, you know, they got away from chalkboards. So it's like weird that he's on a chalkboard in general, right? Like this isn't fucking Good Will Hunting's 1990 fucking 2 college era. But then there's an image they show, and again, this is just a picture, but it has like a landscape of like these houses that look like Jetson type houses, like on the big ass pillars, basically, you know, above the level or whatever, and like the flying car and like the aesthetics and everything. And I was like, dang, this is so weird. I wonder if it's like their world is like pseudo stuck in like the 1950s, but with like future stuff.
Yeah. I was gonna say the vehicle that they showed that you said that is the Fantastic Four car has a very interesting design to it. Yeah. Not like what I have expected from seeing like the different comics and also the Fantastic Four cartoon show that used to be on. Yeah, it had a very interesting design to it. Yeah, so I can see the what you're saying there, that it's like stuck in the past but futuristic. It has that. There's a type of design that I cannot think of what it's called. That like the 1940s.
Oh, this says it's 50s. The Fantastic Four is a vintage Cadillac.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a certain design that was around that time. That it looks like to me. And I cannot remember what it was.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can. I think it was like 1950s. design style. But no, there's nothing coming up. I mean, I'm sure there's stuff here that European avant-garde modern. Nah, there's like a very specific name to it. Whatever. Anyway,
Did you see the name of the actual movie, by the way?
I did not.
It's called The Fantastic Four: First Steps.
Okay.
Is the title of the film.
I can see that because it'll be interesting to see if it actually is like an origin story with them, or if it just drops them right into after they got their powers. But first steps, obviously, kind of.
I mean,
makes me think of like walking on the moon and whatnot. So, yeah, that's how they get their powers. Classically, is going out into space and getting hit by cosmic radiation, and then that's how they get their powers.
Yeah.
So first steps does sound like something like that.
Yeah, this is a they call it. I don't know why they call it a concept trailer, but I guess it's like obviously the movie's not done yet. So it says the footage began with Reed Richards, portrayed by Pedro Pascal, teaching a fantastic science class, because above him is a sign that says "Fantastic Science," complete with an old school accent and a banner in the background. The setting had a distinct 1960s retro futuristic aesthetic, emphasizing Marvel's vision of blending classic elements with the futuristic twist. The Fantastic Four First Steps SDCC concept trailer featured the Fantastic car, a vintage Cadillac that looked like a vehicle from the Jetsons. This detail added to the nostalgic vibe. Ben Grimm, Eben Moss, Bacharach, and Sue Storm, Vanessa Kirby appeared in a mock dating game. The game was called Let's Make a Love Match. The game's retro style presentation featured silhouettes of the team's male members. This playful scene highlights the characters' chemistry and camaraderie. Then it goes on to say Joseph Quinn's Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch, made a notable appearance. His sister Sue cheekily told the camera, "Ladies, he is very single." And the SDCC footage concluded with a dramatic shot of Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds, portrayed by Ralph Ennison. The comic-accurate villain appeared peering into the Baxter Building. This hinted at the epic battle scale of the challenges the team will face. So, this also goes on to say, interestingly, Doctor Doom, portrayed by Robert Downey Jr., will star in a separate Avengers movie titled Avengers Doomsday, but with the Fantastic Four members confirmed to return in it. In Avengers Secret Wars, the Fantastic Four First Steps could provide a setup for them. And then, of course, we'll hit theaters July 25th, 2025. So, interesting. So, it's definitely, I would say it's going to be an origin story for them, but it's going to be, I think it's going to obviously be like maybe a sped up version.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say a la like Deadpool kind of did, and like, there was another one that kind of did the same thing, where you started as. Anyways, and I'm guessing they're gonna they're gonna maybe be the Fantastic Four, and then they tell the story of how they became. I don't know. It's hard to say because the footage doesn't give us anything other than the fact that like they're out and about, and apparently the like we know from the concept art that Marvel's already released, Bennon's gonna look very similar to what he is in the comic books, with the big like eyebrow, like brow thing, and like that. People also noted out, and they're looking at the picture right now, he actually has 4 fingers instead of 5.
Oh, they released an actual picture of him?
So that's the thing. So last year at some point they released a poster that was like a teaser poster that had all the actors portrayed in their like characters design. Like, so you see I'm looking at it right now, and you can maybe look it up. They actually have the robot too, which I can't remember his name right now.
Yeah,
Is it Kirby? Is it Kirby the robot?
might be. It makes sense because of what Jack Kirby that
Yeah.
created Fantastic Four.
I want to say his name's Kirby. Anyways, it shows them in both Reed and Sue are in what looks to be classic Fantastic Four attire. He has a suit on that's very body shaped but has those lines on it. Like obviously to make it look like he can stretch. She's wearing her classic light blue with the white collar and the white boots, white belt thing. Johnny is in a looks to be a sport coat with like a collared shirt underneath, but he has something underneath. And then Ben is wearing a sweater with some pants, but it looks like there's like some like obviously he could be wearing like classic shorts or something underneath that fit his rock body. And in the background you see a photo of Ben before the transformation. He's in his spacesuit sitting, that classic astronaut pose with the helmet on their knee. Yeah. So that's the image we have so far. But in the footage of at Comic-Con, Ben wasn't the thing yet. He was still Ben.
Okay.
So we don't know what technically looks like on screen yet, mainly because they're not done. They're obviously they're not completely done making all of it. This is the footage we see is them as them. We don't see them as the Fantastic Four. We see them as their characters, because obviously that stuff would be filmed beforehand, and then later on with the advent of CG and things like that, it'll be interesting to see how they do Sue's powers, what Johnny looks like. Is he going to have like that, just like Chris Evans did, where he's like a guy made of fire, like you can see he's just fire colored with fire on him? Or are they going to do like that, like you can see him inside the flames type thing? So we'll have to wait and see how they do it. But yeah, from the art they've released so far, the only person we see that's transformed really is Ben, who's full on thing in that picture. So interesting.
Which is a pretty interesting picture because it's more art style, more art than anything.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool looking.
So pretty neato burrito. There was a at Comic-Con at the I want to say it was at the booth. They had a new Marvel logo that featured a lot of the current iterations of the characters. You have Ryan Reynolds Deadpool. You have Hugh Jackman's Logan / Wolverine. You have Captain Falcon. You have the X-Men '97 cast that's featured on there. Galactus, which is the Lady Galactus one from one of the versions that's out there. So a lot of that, but it's weird because it has Miles, but the comic book version of Miles. So I don't know if this is the new per se Marvel logo versus just a combination of a lot of the Marvel stuff being shown at Comic-Con. But people are like, that's the new Marvel logo, and I'm like, I don't think so, because it's just more of the modern stuff happening in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, just a promotional thing for right now.
Yeah, and it's at Comic-Con, so it's not like it's anything we can
see
take.
them spoiling the fact that they'd be bringing in Miles Morales into the main movie line.
Yeah.
Right now, without even announcing anything.
Yeah, and especially because Sony would be like, wait, what the fuck?
Right. So I could just see that as being like, this is just a comic. Like, these are all of our properties. It's a one-off thing.
Yeah, and that's why I think he's featured as the comic book version, not the Into the Spider-Verse version.
Yeah.
So people just need to calm the fuck down.
They really do.
That's all I'm saying. It has been, let's see, what other Marvel stuff? Confirmed that Giancarlo Esposito's character from Captain America 4 Brave New World is the leader of the Serpent Society.
Oh, that's cool. All
right. The Thunderbolts cast was there to debut the first footage from the movie, which apparently was just a bunch of action shots of different things. But David Harbour came out in costume, in character essentially with the Russian accent, and he wanted to introduce the cast. And as he got close to the stage, he saw them all, and he's like, that he broke character, and was like, "Why aren't you guys dressed up?" and like all this stuff. And it was really funny because he started like pout and cry. And then he was like, "Sebastian, you promised if I didn't change your monologue in the act 2 that you would dress up." And he's like, "You don't even have my number. Don't ever talk to me." Like it was so funny. And then they showed footage of the happenings.
Nice. That's hilarious.
And everyone was there. I don't think there's any big reveals in that I saw. The cast is pretty much solid at this point, mainly because they're fucking filming it. So I mean, we can't really like.
Hopefully it's solid, right?
Yeah, you know.
Just change the character in the middle of filming.
Yeah. So like it opened with Yelena Belova, played by Florence Poe, the new Black Widow, knocking on Red Guardian's door. He hastily tries to clean up his messy apartment before letting her in, claiming to be taking steps to improve his life, blah, blah, blah. And then there was a scene of Bucky entering a courtroom in the U.S. with while U.S. agent Weil Russet looks at news articles about himself. There's a hallway fight with Yelena as Black Widow in that scene. She investigates a room filled with charts before U.S. agent shoots at her. Ghost, who's returning from the Ant-Man and Wasp movie, she aids her, or whatever that means. Bob, a.k.a. Robert Reynolds, played by Lewis Pullman, enters a room wearing a hospital gown. He's going to be playing Sentry, by the way, if you didn't know who Robert Reynolds is.
Yeah.
Originally was going to be played by oh my god, what is his name? Invincible. I can't think of his name right now. Why is it, I'm just saying Glenn because he's fucking Glenn in Walking Dead. What is his name? Holy fucking Christ, Cody.
He was Glenn in
Walking Dead. He voices Invincible.
Yeah, I can see his face, but I don't actually know his name.
Oh my god, dude, I'm spacing on it. Brain work.
Too early.
Yeah, I know. So he was originally playing that character who eventually
Glenn
becomes...
Rhee?
What?
Glenn Rhee?
No.
Stephen
Yeun. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Stephen Yeun.
Well, it's funny because I type in Glenn Walking Dead actor, and Google's like, Glenn Rhee, that's a fictional character. That's now I read it as fictional character. It's like,
yeah.
Thanks. I wanted to know who the actor was.
Yep. Yeah. Stephen Yeun was originally playing the character who would become Sentry, but now it's being played by Lewis Pullman. Not because he wasn't happy, it was because the Thunderbolts took so long to start going that he was contractually obligated to some other stuff, so he had to move away from the project before they even started filming anything. So he unfortunately is not going to be in it. And some other stuff happens. You see Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character, Valentina Algra de Fontaine. She confronts Bucky, or Bucky confronts her. I can't remember what it said in there. And then there's a shot of him putting on his new fancy arm, which is vibranium. I think that's about it I saw in there. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to see the rest of the article. Oh yeah, yeah. So Bucky confronts her at the event that they're at, and then Loki's scepter is displayed in a glass case. Bucky puts on his vibranium arm and prepares for a fight.
Okay.
So that was that footage.
Sounds cool.
Let's see. Captain America stuff was there. They had the cast there, including Harrison Ford.
Nice, yeah.
I think that's pretty much it for the Marvel stuff that I saw. They released the Fantastic Four logo as well, which is a classic Fantastic Four logo.
Okay.
It just says Fantastic Four with the 4 in the circle. And and then it says first steps underneath, but it's in that old school fucking like 60s art style.
Okay.
I'll also post that so everyone can see. What else? DC showed off the first full trailer for Penguin.
Oh my god, that was so fucking good.
That shit looks fucking awesome, and I'm upset that it's a limited series, which means we're not gonna get more after that. More of the Penguin after that. Maybe get other stuff after that, but
right. But, I mean, I'm kind of okay with it because if they can tell just a good, concise story,
yeah. And I don't want them to draw it out for
it
anything else, but
it takes place before the Batman, if I recall right.
No,
right?
it takes place shortly after the events
Shortly
of
after
the Batman.
Events. Okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully it leads into more stuff that Matt Reeves does, and we just get a whole Matt Reeves Batman universe, which would be fucking amazing.
Well, they already
I had to remind myself that that's Colin Farrell
every time.
All of that, because they just show it, and it's just like, damn, he is so fucking good. I hope he wins some awards with this character.
What else was there? Let's see. They debuted the first trailer for Creature Commandos, the first thing that will be out from the DCU, which will hit Max in December. I'm trying to find it here. Somewhere, I think it's December. It's like December 18th or some shit like that. It says in the trailer. I don't remember what it was though, but I know it's December of this year.
Okay.
But that is it looks pretty cool. It also is mature rated, by the way.
Okay.
Which is nice to see because it's extremely violent. And at one point, the bride flips double birds.
Yeah.
To somebody, and I was like, okay,
all right.
Let's see. Invincible was announced. They showed a poster for Invincible season 3 and announced that season 4 is on its way.
Cool.
The new poster shows Invincible in his alternate costume, his new version, the blue and black. Which later on his brother Oliver takes over. By the way, spoiler alert.
Spoilers. I never made it that far into the comic.
What? Jesus Christ!
I only finished the first volume.
Fucking terrible, Joe.
I am terrible.
The Boys announced a spin-off series called Voight Rising, which is the prequel starring Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy, as well as Anya Cash reprising her role as Stormfront, which is pretty rad. So kind of see obviously early days of that going on, and what happened with Soldier Boy. It was confirmed that Jason Ackles' Soldier Boy character will be a main cast member of season 5.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the final season of the main run of Boys. They announced several people, including The Deep, reprising his character in season 2 of Gen V.
Okay.
There's some other people. I think Maeve at one point was showing up too. They announced some other people showing up in season 2 of Gen V, which if you haven't watched Gen V season 1, you should.
Halfway through it right now.
And we'll explain a little bit that happens at the end of season 4 of The Boys.
Yeah.
What else? Joe? In searching for stuff, by the way, Joe, I'm going to give you a warning. Anybody else who hasn't seen Deadpool and Wolverine, I avoided it for the most part, but Marvel actually showed footage of people, cast members for Deadpool and Wolverine that are cameos at Comic-Con, and they debuted it that Thursday, which was a fucking shitty thing to do, because the mass majority of people in the world have not seen the movie, and they spoiled a bunch of the cameos.
Good job, Marvel.
Yep.
Way to do the Twitter's dirty work.
Yeah, I was like, you're actually the problem. And then later on, they took it down and then put up a different video where they showed the first part and then showed off and said that they were showing cast members that are making appearances. And I was like, you already fucking you've already put it on the internet. People have already screen capped it, recorded it. You have already failed in your job.
Yeah, it's out there already.
Yeah. So
I always
fucking
love how people they'll put stuff up and then take it down and think that well, just because I took it down, the internet forgets. The internet never forgets.
nah, bro, dude. What was that fucking Rule 42 or some shit? Whatever. No, that's the.
It's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots. Walking Dead. Carol is coming back. And Daryl Dixon, The Book of Carol.
Cool. Don't care.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to send it. I think I forgot to send it. They released a teaser trailer for Like a Dragon Yakuza series. I don't know if you know this or not. So, Like a Dragon Yakuza is a spin-off from the Yakuza games, and they're making a live action show on Amazon.
Okay.
And they dropped a trailer for it. I forgot to send that to you guys.
That will be a very weird show if they stick to the game.
Yeah, and it's in the trailer. There's not much real bizarre stuff happening, but there's definitely there's gonna be some fighting going on, obviously. But like they had the guy walking into like an area shirtless with the tattoo on. I was like, oh fuck, okay, this is crazy. They actually had a very weird animated tattoo sequence of like Tabori or is it Tabori, whatever the Japanese like tapping version of tattooing is, and it's very poorly done because they're not showing the agitation of the needle. They just make it look like the needle's being dragged across the skin. Yeah, you'll see it when you watch it. I was like, that's not actually how that works, everybody. Plus, that would be horrifically painful.
Yeah, you're just basically cutting someone at that point.
Yeah, like in a not good way.
Yeah.
There's a new trailer for Hellboy: The Crooked Man, which I will send as well.
Yes, please. I want to see some footage from that.
More than the teaser trailer that Joe probably hasn't watched yet. That I sent a couple weeks ago.
Did not watch. Nope.
Did you see that they released a Alien Rogue Incursion VR game trailer?
I did.
Yeah, that looks fucking terrifying.
Yeah. Makes me want to get VR more and more just to try it out, but it's just so expensive to get anything good. I mean, we have an Oculus Quest 2 here, but I hate the fact that you have to sign into a Facebook account in order to use it.
Because it's meta, bro.
Yeah.
Michael C. Hall is making a resurgence as Dexter from his obviously award-winning and career-making series. Not only is he coming back to do the narration for the prequel series, but he's actually coming back for a new series, sequel series called Dexter Resurrection.
Okay.
Details are sparse on how that's happening, since at the end of the last miniseries they did, he died. But we'll see.
Okay.
Let's see what else. Mark Hamill showed up at 2 different panels, one for the Wild Robot, and the other for the SpongeBob movie. Rings of Power had a new trailer that debuted that looked awesome. What else is happening? There's a lot of stuff that obviously went down. Silo Season 2 gets a release date, and we didn't get to see a first trailer, but Comic-Con got to see a first trailer. What else is there? Glenn Powell's going to be in the Family Guy Halloween special.
Cool.
Oh, that's the article that's popped up. That's scrolling.
Okay.
Debuted a new show in the Star Trek universe called Section 31.
All right.
With Michelle Yeoh in it.
That's cool.
Yeah. And they also debuted season 3 footage for Strange New Worlds.
Cool.
And the new trailer for Lower Decks
Awesome.
for season 5. That's there.
Lower Decks.
Yeah, that shows. I haven't watched past season 2, so. But this show makes me laugh, so it's okay. Let's see. What else is there? Going through this pretty quickly because we're almost out of time. Debut footage for Superman and Lois the final season, which is him battling Doomsday apparently. which is a weird way to end this show, but why not?
Why not?
Futurama announced guest stars for season 12. That include LeVar Burton, Danny Trejo, and Cara Delevingne.
I love it all, and
Yep.
I can't wait for the new season.
Oh,
and
so good,
It just
dude.
feels like it's already been a year since they released the previous season.
And it's so good though. It's so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
That is one I don't miss. Like I will watch it every single time.
Yeah.
There's rumors that Daphne Keene's Laura / X-23 will appear in more than just the Deadpool Wolverine movie. By the way, I don't know if that's true or not, but if they're doing Secret Wars, she might as well show up in that. I think that's all the major stuff that I saw that we usually talk about. We center around a lot of comic book stuff. DC. They showed off the DCU's official logo, by the way,
Nice.
for the new movies. It is classic DC with the circle and the stars in it. I'll post it as well.
Okay.
I think that's everything major. Oh, and I'll try to find better footage of it, but they did do a drone fireworks show outside San Diego Comic-Con this year,
Okay.
and it's pretty spectacular. It is weirdly weirdly detailed, but it's a mixture of drones with fireworks, but the fireworks aren't being shot off. They're from the drones.
That's cool.
And when they do the Fantastic Four logo, they make it look like it's Johnny, like the Human Torch flying in the air, igniting the logo. It's fucking
Nice.
wild, dude.
That'd be dope to watch.
Yeah. And I think they did. I don't know if they did multiple nights because I keep seeing different ones. Like ones that was like Deadpool and Wolverine, and then one was Galactus actually coming up above the horizon, or from
cool.
from below the horizon above Petco Park, facing Comic-Con. It was fucking crazy, dude.
That's dope.
Yeah, I think that's everything that I found that was of interest to us, at least. There's a new trailer apparently for a movie that has Kit Harington that's out now, where he plays a werewolf. I need to find it.
Okay. Weird.
Yeah, I think that was everything I remember seeing. I just saw it because it pulled up on one of the articles I read, and I'm looking at my history, which weirdly enough is full of Comic-Con stuff.
Yeah. Right.
So strange.
Right.
Oh, and the Family Guy Halloween special is going to be on Hulu, by the way, if
Okay.
you guys didn't know that.
Nope.
Yep, I think that's about it.
Okay.
So, yeah. Oh, last thing. I just remembered. I just saw it in my history. So at they showed new footage from Alien Romulus at Comic-Con, but they had mechanical and puppet facehuggers invade the Hall H
Nice.
and were attacking stage performers,
That's awesome.
like in the crowd. Like it were, oh dude, I was like, what the fuck, bro? That's wild.
That's wild. That's awesome.
Yeah. Really went all out this year. Disney's like, fuck it.
Right.
Like we got money to spare.
We got money. Let's just do it.
Yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah. That's it.
Cool.
That's it for this week's episode of Comes Naturally. We have been
Joe.
I have been Cody, and as usual, you fuckers just came naturally.
Bye.